Today, I want to welcome Emily Huynh, the Southeastern Regional Business Development Executive at Contra Vision, to the House Studios podcast, Stories Behind the Brand. How are you?
I am just fabulous. Thank you for asking, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of want to jump into your career, how you got started, and go from there.
Okay, cool. So, I have been with Contra Vision since 2015, November of 2015. So I've been here for a minute. I kind of fell into it. I I needed a job. I had just had a baby, and I needed to get back into working. And my sister actually had the role at Contra Vision and had only been there for 6 months, and she was going to have to move. Her husband's job relocated, so she had to leave the company. And they were like, "Oh no, we just hired you 6 months ago. Do you have anyone that you can recommend?" And they're like, "Oh, my sister, but I don't know if we just transfer jobs like that. I don't know if that's how that works." So we actually, they set up a time for me to meet a fellow named Rob Stone, very near and dear to my heart. He used to be with the company. He left a couple years ago. Anyhow, we met at SGIA in Atlanta, and I did like a turbo interview and helped break down the booth, and the rest is history.
Did you come from a similar industry, or was this like starting from scratch, just learning it from day one?
I started from scratch. I honestly had no idea what perf was when I joined the company. I don't know if they want me saying this, but I had no idea what perf was. I had worked at Waffle House, and I had been a bartender for a little bit. And then I was like, I need a job. So I had been putting out applications, and this just fell in. But yeah, I'm lucky. I have really grown up in the industry. I was 21 when they hired me. I really did get to grow up and learn as much as I could just inside the industry. So no, I had no history with with all of this prior.
You sounds like you were more of like a sponge and just like really like teach me everything you know, and that's how you grew. Is that kind of the path you took? Does that sound right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had like a week of training before they hired me, and at the time I was not in sales. I was in customer service and logistics. And I love people. I've always loved people. So I wasn't so much worried about the customer service part as the, hey, what's an 80/20? What's a 70/30? What kind of liner? I was like, ooh, I know, man. I know lip liner. Like I don't know. So anyway, I was concerned about that. But the week the week training I got like the basics of what our product was. I really struggled with printers and different printing technologies and things like that. But really time is the best teacher. So just experience and getting out there. And I really felt that getting into sales too. I hesitated for a little bit to not go into sales because I was concerned that there's so many different substrates and printers and people with a ton of experience out there. I'm like, who's going to listen to me? Why would they listen to me, right? Um, and my coworker Pat was just like, it's just experience. You learn as you go. We all learn as we go. Nobody jumped into this saying, oh yeah, I know everything. And none of us still. You could be in this industry for 50 years and you don't know everything, right? You don't learn until you experience it. So yeah, that was the best teacher for me, was the experience.
Yeah, and I think your personality really lends itself to the position you're in, especially sales. I remember meeting you a few years ago at a trade show, and we went over to your booth to make a little video. And I met you for the first time that day, and I was like, whoa, who is this person? It was like
Thanks,
you
Pat.
treated me like you knew me forever. You're joking around, and I think that personality lends itself to sales and obviously to trade shows, because I know you're heavily involved in that. What is your take on that? Because I know you do a lot of them, because I see you at a lot of them. Do you like them? Do you hate them?
So yeah, let me think about how to respond to this. I do love trade shows. It's like, I mean, I love people, like we talked about. So I get to just interact with so many different people all at once, which can be exhausting sometimes. So when I was a little bit younger, I just loved it and I had endless amounts of energy. But now, got a ton of kids and I'm a little tired. So, but no, I do love it, but I just definitely feel the fatigue from it more than I used to. But I mean, just the opportunity to meet so many different people in one spot at one time, like, you can't you can't get that from doing sales calls. Like I could go to Florida and do some sales calls for a week, but the amount of connections I make at one trade show, I mean, you just can't beat it. So I do love it. I do love the creativity of it. We have an awesome marketing department, and they put so much time and effort into our booths. So I love the different ideas and innovations and things they come up with for our booth. But I definitely take the most joy in communicating with different potential customers, other vendors, just visitors in general. I just like making connections. And so I mean that's how we came to be right here. So yeah, I do really love it.
I mean, from our side of the business, we do a fair, we do a lot of trade shows as well, and I find myself liking them more and more because, like you said, not too many places you can go and just meet so many people in one place, and there's so many opportunities to network and learn new things, new trends that are happening in our industry. So I personally love trade shows. I like going to the Vegas ones and the Florida ones the best. But yeah, trade shows, I think some people love them and hate them. And it's interesting to get your take
I
on them.
should stop you there. Are you saying that you dislike Atlanta? Because you said Vegas and said Florida. The only other rotation there you missed was Atlanta. And as you know, I don't Atlanta. I don't want to call you out, but
Atlanta in the summer, I'll pass. I'll come in the winter. As talking to before we started recording, you got some nice warm weather, and we're getting hit with an ice storm. So, I'll hop over to Atlanta in the winter. But if I had to pick,
right.
I'm going Vegas or Orlando. Those are my top ones. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, I'm from Vegas originally,
Okay.
so every time there's a show in Vegas, I'm like, can I please? I just got back from that Fast Lines had a show out
Okay.
there, and they needed a volunteer, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'll go,
yeah.
I'll go. I just love
I
it.
can only,
Well, I don't hate you.
yeah,
For that.
I can only do a couple
Innovation.
days in Vegas, like 2 to 3 days, and then I got to get out. It's just too much.
Look, I was opening the door for Stroll late there, and you're like, oh, well, actually, Vegas is if you're gonna do there.
Nah, I love it.
You're doing
I
well.
love it. So, knowing your personality, knowing a little bit about you, I feel like you obviously don't really follow a traditional playbook. Can you discuss maybe some unique marketing or business development strategies that you've personally implemented?
Man, I feel like this should be a very professional answer. That was a very professional question. Uh, and I went into this role super hesitant because I was like, oh no, because of these, like, okay, I got to put my strategy down and my plan, and obviously I have that, right? Yeah. But I lead with, and comes from Tamara Pittman. She's actually over at SIL. Contra Vision's better. Just shout out. But Tamara Pittman's amazing, and she had dinner with me before I went into sales, and I said the same thing, like, but how do I come up with these strategies and the business plan and this and that? And she's like, you are getting way too caught up in semantics, right? You lead with love, you lead with friendship, that's just go out and meet people, make connections, make friends. The rest will come, right? If you believe in what you're selling, you're not selling them snake oil, then just make friends. Go and introduce yourself. Find out more about them. Care about them. That's who you are, and it is who I am. So I really do lead that way. I just go out and I try to make friends and I try to make connections and see how I can better your life. And honestly, the rest does come. It really does. So if I have any advice, it would just be that: go make friends and care about the human that you're interacting with, and the rest does come. So yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. I'd rather meet someone that's maybe a little off, but is more authentic. I mean, you meet a lot of. You meet a lot of different people at trade shows, and there's some stiff people. There's some people that are like, this guy's a little kooky. There's so many different people, and I guess what I'm saying is I'd rather talk and have a genuine conversation with someone that is coming off natural and is being honest with me than someone who's, reading from a script. And I think that's one of your strengths is, you might say something that, a lot of people don't agree with or is a little out there. But me personally, that's the type of person that I connect with. And is more genuine. So it sounds like exactly what you said is the person that when I'm walking around, I'm trying to meet. So that's kind of cool to hear.
Wants to be sold to. We have enough people just walking in. Hey, do you have a few minutes of my time? Have you ever heard of such and such? Like, it's cheesy, bro. It's cheesy. I don't want to
Yeah.
be talked to like that. You don't want to be talked to like. Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Um, let's dive a little into Contra Vision. Like, what sets you guys apart from your competition?
Let's not sell yourself short there, pal. You also made some pretty cool videos with our material. So, just saying. I'm just
Thank you.
shout out Zach. How
I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
So Contra Vision, we are the creators of Perforated Window Film. We actually created it back in the day, and Roland Hill, who invented the material, sold it to other companies, and they sold perf, and then our patent ran out, and we had to start selling it for ourselves. The royalties were no longer coming. So yeah, that's what happened. We started selling it for ourselves, and I think the neat thing about Contra Vision is we really do focus on perf because that's all we do. Well, we have a couple new products, but most 95% of what we do has holes in it. So they're constantly working on ways to be innovative and create new products. And I also have to really say that the people you deal with at Contra Vision is a game changer. Uh, People, that's R plural. The people you deal with at Contra Vision are a game changer. So yeah, the people, the product, the support. Every company eventually, stuff happens, right? But it's how you handle it, it's how you deal with it, and it's how you treat people. So I think we really do stand out there.
I agree with you. I think, not that your product is similar to a lot of other ones, but there are companies out there that what really sets them apart is that customer service. If they have a similar product to someone else. And I think from meeting you, a few of the other people at Contra Vision, you're correct. Your people set you apart, and that customer service aspect does go a long way. And it's good to hear that you guys understand the importance of it.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to mention our product is a fabulous product too. They put a lot of thought and effort, and our adhesive is top notch. The face film's top notch. I almost gave away names. I would be fired quickly. It's a fabulous product too, but I do think our highest quality is the people and the support that you get with us.
Is there a project that you guys have worked on that kind of blew you away? Like, wow, this is cool that we get to work on this.
Um, Yeah, there are several. For me particularly, I mean, there's Super Bowl, there's building wraps, there's really neat different Netflix buses that are printed up in New York where you are that look really cool, and they're just super creative, the things that you can do with it. There's digital projection mapping, which is pretty neat too. We've seen outside of some car manufacturers' buildings, they wrap it in just plain unprinted perf, and they project video onto it, and it does look really really neat while still allowing the see through out of the building. So there's things like that. But for me, I love kids. I have a soft spot in my heart for special needs kids. I'm not gonna cry, so don't even push me there. But we've done some charity work. Not charity work. We have donated material to people doing charity work for some events for the Special Olympics and things like that. And those are in highest regard to me because there's giant manufacturers, but there are people out here trying to do good, and they're not doing it for money or anything else. And so that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing that I've been able to do is to donate material to situations like that.
That's so cool. I love hearing stories about that. You guys are located out of the UK, right? Like that's where the main facility is.
Yeah, I almost had an accent. I don't know if that's politically correct. Um, yes, we are based out of Manchester, UK. That's where we have a bunch of people over there and that's Contra Vision Supplies, and we're Contra Vision North America.
Okay.
But they're a parent company, yes.
Have you had a chance to go over there yet?
Yeah, we get to go over. We were going over like every other year, but we haven't. The last trip they took us, we had Rob Stone, who I mentioned earlier, and Dee. She was our HR director. She's fabulous. She still is fabulous, I'm sure, just out there living her life. but they both retired, and so they took us to Edinburgh, Scotland, and we had dinner in the castle, and I mean it was such a cool. It was a going away party and sales conference. We all got to get together from around the world because we do have people everywhere across Europe and here, and it was so fun to be able to get together and experience Scotland like that. Although I gotta say, our food's better. Our food's better. You can ask anybody.
No, I've been over there a few times, and it's different. Obviously, I would agree with you. I think we have amazing food here, but their food's pretty good. It's just different.
It is. That's a good answer. You have a lot of Scottish friends. Are you nervous?
I'm always nervous. Yeah, I'm
There
always
you go.
nervous.
No, I'm a big foodie. And I think we just have so many. I don't know. We have a lot of food all in one spot here. So I feel lucky for that. But yeah. Although fish and chips in England, this is not Scotland, but fish and chips in England with like the mushy peas and the vinegar on top, you can't get that here. Don't even try it, bro.
Right,
Delicious.
right, right. Yeah, I don't eat seafood, so I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, no
yeah.
seafood?
No seafood. Yeah.
Are you
So
allergic? Give me a good
no,
reason.
it skeeves me out. Like whenever I see someone eating like a crab or a lobster, I'm like, that's like just like a water bug. You're eating a water bug. Uh, Fish freak me out. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I stick to like chicken. I'm pretty basic.
Do
Uh,
it chicken nuggets a lot?
no, no, no chicken nuggets, no fast food.
Oh,
Just straight chicken
okay.
breast, rice, vegetables. I try to keep it,
Oh,
simple and
you're
clean.
healthy.
Yeah, I try to be.
But there's a lot of health in salmon. I know we're veering off the topic here, but
No, I don't disagree with you. It's just personal preference. Can't do
I
it.
got you.
Uh, but
So going out on a boat, deep sea fishing, and cutting the fish open and eating it on the boat, that would not be your
so I have had it. It has to be like it's situational. Like if I'm at like a really nice restaurant and someone's like, try this, I will, but
thing.
I won't go out of my way to order it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
stop hating on your not
Yeah.
love for seafood.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
So I know we talked a little bit about trade shows. I kind of want to ask you one more question because I feel like you
Oh yeah.
have a great story. Um, do you have any memorable moments?
Um. Yeah. I can't share the first one that pops up.
Okay,
Um. Yeah. I will share one. Can I talk about alcohol in here? We're not
absolutely.
talking about trade show,
Yeah,
not the after parties.
you could talk about whatever you want. This is a
Okay.
safe space.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about one thing because I don't know. I don't need the law at my door. Um.
Yeah.
So anyway, so my brain. Oh, so the very first trade show that I got to work was in Vegas. I think it was SGIA. I don't think Print United had started. I think it was still SGIA. And anyway, I always get to plan and arrange the hospitality events we do for our customers. And I arranged it at the Pepper Mill in Las Vegas, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I was so happy, but I was a little nervous because again, first event, first show, and Denko Sales. I don't know if you've heard of them. They are no longer, but a bunch of awesome human beings that worked there. They all came. The salespeople came, and I was like, well, I don't really know what to talk about because again, my knowledge in the industry was lacking. This was less than a year after I'd started, so I was like, okay, let's just do Patron shots. So there was a lot of Patron, and then conversation naturally. But this is the coolest part. I don't know if this is what you want for your podcast. The coolest part was all of a sudden I remembered all 6 years of Spanish that I took. So we had a couple there that spoke Spanish, and it wasn't just me thinking, "Oh my gosh, my Spanish is awesome." Like I was having a whole conversation, whereas like my boss asked me the next day, like I didn't realize you spoke Spanish. I'm like, I didn't realize I spoke Spanish either. So that was that was a really fun memory.
Well, hopefully you were speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true. Well, he understood me,
okay, okay.
so this is
So
this
maybe you
is a good
were, maybe you were. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that's one of the perks to me about trade shows is you're usually in a cool town. You get to go
Yeah.
have a good dinner. You get to go have drinks, cut loose a little bit. That's kind of why I asked you that question because knowing your personality, I figured there might be a funny story at a trade show, and that sounds like a
There's
good
another
one.
one that I'll tell you after you're not recording anymore. It was fun. And
Okay.
I'll give you two that are trade show related too. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had some panels shipped. All of our stuff typically comes from the UK because our marketing department is over there. So they had shipped a bunch of stuff over for us to apply, install, and everything. We're there. We build our own booth typically. So we were there the day before building the booth, going to apply the panels, and we realized that they had printed the wrong panel, and so we were really we were in trouble because we're
Yeah.
supposed to be showcasing this new product, and we didn't have it to show, like it wasn't printed properly. So, and it was half the booth. So luckily, Mamaki, shout out Mamaki, Lewis Jones and Melvin. I ran over to their booth and they had some of our material because they were running it on their machines, and they were able to reprint the panels, and they completely saved my butt. So thanks for that, guys. And that was just like again, I think that leads to just make friends, just you never know, and that was a case where I didn't know, and then they saved me. So yeah, that was a good one. um oh, my brain just left. I had a different story for you.
To your point, it's all about connections. We know some of the guys over at Mamaki, great people.
Yeah.
Um, certain or it's kind of the same situation for us. One of our first trade shows where we had our own booth. Learning the ins and outs that no one really tells you about. We were running into fires left and right, and we do a lot of work with DERS, and we had a connection over there that they saved us multiple headaches, and
Yeah.
it's just establishing those relationships, and that was super helpful for us. So I could see your side, and it's cool to
Sure.
hear that story.
Speaking of Mamaki, they had an event in Vegas at the rooftop bar at Paris.
Okay.
Um, and that party was one of the best trade show parties I have been to, aside from my own, obviously. I'm just kidding. That was ridiculous. No, that I mean they put so many resources into that party, and it was such a fun time, and the views were just perfect. It was awesome. That was a party.
That's one of my favorite things too, is getting to go to these after parties. And we work with so many different clients at these trade shows that we try to like pop in at each one and just like see who has the best one. So we've definitely been to some really great ones, some on rooftops. So
You have to come to ours this year at
oh,
ISA.
absolutely,
I'll
absolutely.
get you the information on it. It'll be fun.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely be there. What are you guys doing?
I can't put it all out here because one of our competitors is going to steal my idea, and two, it's invite only. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. As long as that we're invited, we'll keep
Yeah,
it top secret. Okay.
of course.
Awesome. So I just want to end with what is there any like cool things happening in the future with Contra Vision that people can look forward to? I know you don't have to give any secrets, but like what can people look forward to maybe this year and the next coming years that's exciting for you guys?
Yeah, I think the thing I'm most excited about right now, aside from our perf and continuing to grow that business and connect with new companies that could possibly use our stuff, is we have launched a privacy range of films. So it goes from Frost to Reeded to Geodot. I mean, there's just so many different cool solid films that we have. So I'm really excited stepping into that world because I've been in the perf area for 8 years. And so this last year, I've been really trying to understand what else is out there and how we can be creative in that lane. And I think we've done a really, really good job of developing some products that are really going to be useful to people. And a lot of our customers now already use it, or something like that. I mean, they use something like that. So it can be something that they can add to getting from us. And yeah, there's just some really, really pretty films. And there's a whole nother creativity lane that you can do with perf is one thing, but there's just so many neat things you can do with the Frost and the Reeded and all these printable solid films. You just see some really cool projects, and I think that's the most exciting thing, is to see what people create with the material that we provide. So yeah, I think that's the most exciting thing I'm looking forward to and learning more about and seeing what comes from it.
What trade shows do you guys have coming up that people can kind of look forward to seeing you at?
So we tend to alternate whether we do Print United or ISA, and we're doing ISA this year, so we'll be in Vegas for sure. We also have some open houses coming up. I don't really know what the guys are going to be at. I know where I'm going to be at.
Right.
I'm going to be in somewhere. I'll be somewhere. No, just kidding. Just find me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be at the Glance Open House in Louisville, Kentucky, the first week of March. I'll be in New Orleans at the Resupply Open House at the end of March. And then we've got ISA after that and a couple more scattered throughout the year. So I'm really excited to come out and see everybody and meet with people and eat good food.
If someone wants to learn more about you, you want to plug your website real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to pull it up. Can you see my screen?
No, I meant if you just want to plug it.
Oh,
Like,
you said pull it up, and I was like, wait a minute, I should have been more careful with my screen. Yeah, it's www.contravision.com. There's so many resources from a contact list with everybody and everywhere. Our cell phone numbers. There are technical data sheets for the products that we offer, different projects, photo galleries. There's a lot on there. So take a peek around. If you want to know more, please feel free to reach out to me. All my information's on the website. And yeah.
well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be seeing you in Vegas in April, so that's exciting. And once again, thank you so much for being on the House Studios podcast, Stories Behind the Brand. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Zach. Bye, guys.